say hi. Say, Mom, if I could talk, I'd be a billionaire. No. You say hi. Say hi. See, I was being cuddly until I said hi, and then I decided I want to bite. No, you're not going to bite me. You're not going to get blood all over me this morning with your bloody teeth. No. All right, you may go. Go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to stay right here, she says. All right. Good morning, friends. Happy Tuesday. You going to help me read? You're going to lick the pages and make them all crinkly? I can't find my ribbon here. All right. March 3rd. Where are you going? Where are you going? The people rebel. Numbers 14, 1 through 12. Then the whole community began weeping aloud, and they cried all night. Their voices arose in a great chorus of protest against Moses and Aaron. If only we had died in Egypt, or even here in the wilderness, they complained. Why is the Lord taking us to this country only to have us die in battle? Our wives and our little ones will be carried off as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt? Then they plotted among themselves, let's choose a new leader and go back to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell face down on the ground before the whole community of Israel. Two of the men who had explored the land, Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, tore their clothing. They said to all the people of Israel, the land we traveled through and explored is a wonderful land. And if the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us safely to that land and give it to us. It is a rich land flowing with milk and honey. Do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land. They are only helpless prey to us. They have no protection, but the Lord is with us. Don't be afraid of them. But the whole community began to talk about stoning Joshua and Caleb. Then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to all the Israelites at the tabernacle, and the Lord said to Moses, how long will these people treat me with contempt? Will they... Now, don't accidentally close that window with your chin on my keypad. How long will these people treat me with contempt? Will they never believe me, even after all the miraculous signs I have done among them? I will disown them and destroy them with a plague. Then I will make you into a nation greater and mightier than they are. Moses intercedes for the people. Numbers 14, 13 through 25. But Moses objected. What will the Egyptians think when they hear about it? He asked the Lord. They know full well the power displayed in rescuing your people from Egypt. Now, if you destroy them, the Egyptians will send a report to the inhabitants of this land, who have already heard that you live among your people. They know, Lord, that you have appeared to your people face to face, and that your pillar of cloud hovers over them. They know that you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Now, if you slaughter all these people with a single blow, the nations that have heard of your fame will say, the Lord was not able to bring them into the land he swore to give them, so he killed them in the wilderness. Please, Lord, prove that your power is as great as you have claimed. For you said, the Lord is slow to anger and filled with unfailing love, forgiving every kind of sin and rebellion. But he does not excuse the guilty. He lays sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even the children and the third and fourth generations, in keeping with your magnificent, unfailing love. Please pardon the sins of this people, just as you have forgiven them since they left Egypt. Then the Lord said, I will pardon them as you have requested. But as surely as I live, and as surely as the earth is filled with the Lord's glory, not one of these people will ever enter that land. They have all seen my glorious presence and miraculous signs I have performed, both in Egypt and in the wilderness. But again and again, they have tested me by refusing to listen to my voice. They will never ever see the land. They will never even see the land I swore to give their ancestors. None of those who have treated me with contempt will ever see it. But my servant Caleb has a different attitude than the others have. He has remained loyal to me, so I will bring him into the land, and the land he explored. His descendants will possess their full share of that land. Now turn around and don't go towards the land where the Amalekites and Canaanites live. Tomorrow you must set out for the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea. The Lord punishes the Israelites. Numbers 14, 26 through 45. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, How long must I put up with this wicked community, and its complaints about me? Yes, I have heard the complaints the Israelites are making against me. Now tell them this: as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very things I have heard you say. You will all drop dead in the wilderness because you have complained against me. Every one of you who is 20 years old or older was included in the registration will die. You will not enter and occupy the land I swore to give you. The only exception will be Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. You said your children would be carried off as plunder. Well, I will bring them safely into the land, and they will enjoy what you have despised. But as for you, you will drop dead in this wilderness, and your children will be like shepherds wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. In this way, they will pay for your faithlessness, until the day of you, oh my goodness, until the last of you lies dead in the wilderness. Because your men explored the land for 40 days, you must wander in the wilderness for 40 years, a year for each day, suffering the consequences of your sins. Then you will discover what it is like to have me for an enemy. I, the Lord, have spoken. I will certainly do these things to every member of the community who has conspired against me. They will be destroyed here in this wilderness, and here they will die. The ten men Moses had sent to explore the land, the ones who incited rebellion against the Lord with their bad report, were struck dead with the plague before the Lord. Of the 12 who had explored the land, only Joshua and Caleb remained alive. When Moses reported the Lord's words to all the Israelites, the people were filled with grief. They got up early the next morning and went to the top of the range of hills. Let's go, they said. We realize that we have sinned, but now we are ready to enter the land the Lord has promised us. But Moses said, why are you now disobeying the Lord's orders to return to the wilderness? It won't work. Do not go up into the land now. You will only be crushed by your enemies because the Lord is not with you. When you face the Amalekites and the Canaanites in battle, you will be slaughtered. The Lord will abandon you because you have abandoned the Lord. But the people defiantly pushed ahead towards the hill country, even though neither Moses nor the Ark of the Lord's covenant left the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in those hills came down and attacked them and chased them back as far as Hormah. Laws concerning offerings, Numbers 15, 1 through 31. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you finally settle in the land I am giving you, you will offer special gifts as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. These gifts may take the form of a burnt offering, a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, voluntary offering, an offering at any of your annual festivals, and they may be taken from your herds of cattle or your flocks of sheep and goats. When you present these offerings, you must also give the Lord a grain offering of 2 quarts of choice flour mixed with 1 quart of olive oil. For each lamb offered as a burnt offering or a special sacrifice, you must also present 1 quart of wine as a liquid offering. Winnie, what you doing, girl? What are you doing? If the sacrifice is a ram, give a grain offering of 4 quarts of choice flour mixed with 1/3 of a gallon of olive oil, and give 1/3 of a gallon of wine as a liquid offering. This will be a pleasing aroma to the Lord. When you present a young bull as a burnt offering or as a sacrifice to fulfill a vow or as a peace offering to the Lord, you must also give a grain offering of 6 quarts of choice flour mixed with 2 quarts of olive oil, and give 2 quarts of wine as a liquid offering. This will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Each sacrifice of a bull, ram, lamb, or young goat should be prepared in this way. Follow these instructions with each offering you present. All of you native-born Israelites must follow these instructions when you offer a special gift as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And if you want to get back up, you got to get up on this side. No, you're not going to bite my sweater. No. Lord. If any foreigners visit you or live among you or want to present a special gift as a pleasing aroma to the Lord, they must follow these same procedures. Native-born Israelites and foreigners are equal before the Lord and are subject to the same decrees. This is a permanent law for you to be observed from generation to generation. The same instruction and regulations will apply both to you and the foreigners living among you. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Let go. When you arrive in the land where I am taking you, and you eat the crops that grow there, when you go lay down, you're not gonna. Sorry, Kyle. Why don't you go lay down? Why don't you go lay down? Sorry. You must set aside some as a sacred offering to the Lord. Present a cake from the first of the flour you grind and set it aside as a special offering, as you do with the first grain from the threshing floor. Throughout the generations to come, you are to present a sacred offering to the Lord, each from the first of your ground flour. But suppose you unintentionally fail to carry out these commands that the Lord has given you through Moses, and suppose you're let go of my sweater. So help me. Get down. Get down. Nope. If you want to get anywhere, you get on that side. But suppose you unintentionally fail to carry out all these commands that the Lord has given you through Moses, and suppose your descendants in the future fail to do everything the Lord has commanded through Moses. If the mistake was made unintentionally and the community was unaware of it, the whole community must present a young bull for a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It must be offered along with its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering, with one male goat for sin offering. With it, the priest will purify the whole community of Israel, making them right with the Lord. Then they will be forgiven, for it was an unintentional sin, and they have corrected it with their offerings to the Lord, the special gift and the sin offering. The whole community of Israel will be forgiven, and including foreigners living among you, for all the people were involved in the sin. If one individual commits an unintentional sin, the guilty person must bring a 1-year-old female goat for a sin offering. The priest will sacrifice it to purify the guilty person before the Lord, and the person will be forgiven. These same instructions apply to native-born Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. But those who brazenly violate the Lord's will, whether native-born Israelite or foreigners, have blasphemed the Lord and must be cut off from the community. Since they have treated the Lord's word with contempt and deliberately disobeyed his command, they must be completely cut off and suffer the punishment of their guilt. Penalty for breaking the Sabbath, Numbers 15:32 through 36. One day, while the people of Israel were in the wilderness, they discovered a man gathering wood on the Sabbath day. The people who found him doing this took him before Moses and Aaron and the rest of the community. They held him in custody because they did not know what to do with him. Then the Lord said to Moses, "The man must be put to death. The whole community must stone him outside the camp." So the whole community took the man outside the camp and stoned him to death, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Ow! Don't. Tassels on clothing. Numbers 15:37 through 41. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Throughout the generations to come, you must make tassels for the hems of your clothing and attach them with a blue cord. When you see the tassels, you will remember and obey all the commands of the Lord instead of following your own desires and defiling yourselves, as you are prone to do. The tassels will help you remember that you must obey all my commands and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. I am the Lord your God." Alice, she licks everything. Everything. Don't you? You lick everything. Can't hold her liquor. All right, we're on the top of page 204. Hi. You gonna help me read this one too? Don't you drool on me. I am dressed and ready to go out. So, stop. No. Excuse me? No. It's the chronological 1-year Bible. Venera, it's NLT, and it's a chronological Bible. Rita, yeah. She's feasting on the word. Okay. On April 22nd, Stephanie and I caught up over Zoom with the intent to talk about my next book. I told her later that I'd prayed she would have an idea for a different book. I was losing my nerve to write the body book. It was too close, too real, too much for me to be so vulnerable about. But she didn't have another idea. Instead, she had only more passion for the project and invited me to write bravely and see what happens. I wrote the words "Write bravely" on a sticky note and put it on my bedside table. My call with Stephanie was on Wednesday. I had a busy workday on Thursday. I took Friday and Saturday off and woke up Sunday morning at 5 a.m., ready to go, ready to write. I began writing this book that day and finished the first draft of the manuscript exactly 60 days later on June 26, 2020. These were holy, sacred, and beautiful days. I'd get done writing in the morning and think all day on the words God had given me earlier. I thought about you all every single day and prayed for you, prayed for us. I prayed for revival. I prayed for shame to fall off us collectively, individually, and definitively. In July, our family went on sabbatical, and I entered what is now described as a redeemed Eden state. Our city was in the middle of an intense COVID outbreak, so the travel we'd planned for our sabbatical turned into a quiet family staycation. We'd rented a beach house on a small barrier island a few miles away from our home and did nothing but spend time with our immediate family for 31 days. We deleted all social media, didn't bring our laptops, and rested like our lives depended on it. I took a few bathing suits and a comfy dresses and a freshly printed copy of this manuscript. I was determined to read the book as if it wasn't my own, to ask myself the questions at the end of each chapter, and to make sure I believed it to be true and helpful for me as well as you. In the morning, I read the Bible and this book, and the rest of the days I spent living free in my own body. I moved, I rested, I lived in a bathing suit like it wasn't an ensemble of shame. Sometime during the month, I got to this question in chapter 7. What would an act of worship in your body outside of the typical singing and dancing look like today? And I wrote, become a bar instructor in the margins of my manuscript. A year earlier, I'd begun attending a bar studio in Charleston, and I knew from my very first class that I wanted to be an instructor. The owner of the studio had even suggested I audition to be an instructor, but I only found defeat and discouragement in my heart when I considered it. I'm 36, very curvy, not your average fitness instructor. My heart is free, but my body doesn't fit the typical fitness instructor mold. Until I read this book and remembered that I live in the kingdom, and in the kingdom, there is not typical. There is just intentionally made. And the most worshipful thing I could do with this body is say yes to lead in a brave new space, in a brave new way. So that day, in the middle of sabbatical, I started practicing for my audition. Around the end of the sabbatical, I had a conversation with my mother and sister that they asked how my heart was doing with the book, and I relayed to them just how free I felt. My mom told me that recently my stepdad had said Jess doesn't really look different, but she looks like she feels different, like she feels beautiful. I smiled big. Both of these women mirrored back what I felt in my heart. I am free, and I am living out my freedom, and other people can see it. It's now October 18th of 2020. The air is cooler in Charleston, and yesterday I bought pumpkins for our front porch. I've taught 3 bar classes so far, and I teach my 4th this afternoon. It's been wild and really fun to use my body in this way. Sure, during each class I fight the lie that comes about my body, but for the most part, it's incredibly worshipful to bring my whole self to the table to fight shame, condemnation, and comparisons. Yesterday, I looked back at my 2020 goals because I'm a goals gal. I had 5 main goals for this year, but writing a book wasn't one of them because I thought I was taking the year off from writing. Create space to hear from God, grow in passion in my marriage, lead my kids in love, heal my body, and save for the next season. I was evaluating and assessing what progress had been made in all of those areas, but as I did, I noticed something interesting about my body goal. Each month, I rewrite each of my yearly goals somewhere near my monthly goals in order to remember what they are. And somewhere around June, my body goal changed. Instead of writing heal my body, I wrote live healed in my body because I sensed that healing had happened. I think I'm going to stop right there. All right. Let me just pull up the chat here. Oh, excuse me. That's what they may diagnose him with. They called some of his tremors essential tremors. But they're going to put him on Parkinson's meds, Terry, and see if it helps. And if it helps, they know it's Parkinson's. If it doesn't help, they know it isn't. They suspect that it isn't. They suspect some other things that it's just got to go through a ton of different evaluations and figure it out and get there eventually, I guess. It'll be whatever it is. And I have faith that it'll all be okay one way or the other. So we'll just have to see. We'll be praying for you too. Keep Alicia in your prayers. Thank you for all the love and support you give her. We love Alicia very much. We're definitely praying for her today. Oh yes, Lois. Traveling home from Bangladesh. Boy, I bet that's a flight and a half. I bet that's a long flight. All right, girls, let's go ahead and pray. God, our Father, we thank you for this day and our time together. Thank you that we can come before you and lay our burdens and our worries and our concerns at the feet of the cross and leave them there, God. And I just thank you that that's the kind of God that I serve, one that wants me to boldly approach the throne. And that's what we do today with our concerns and our worries, God. And we just want to tell you that we love you and glorify your name today. God, we lift up our friend Alicia to you and just ask for your strength for her today. Just surround her in peace, surround her in just peace more than anything. Just show her your love for her today. And I just pray that you would just overwhelm her with your sense of presence today, God. God, we pray for the folks traveling back from Bangladesh for your safety to surround them and traveling mercies for them. And God, there are so many worries and concerns and heavy things going on in this community, and you know each and every one intimately. And we just ask for your grace and your peace and your provision for each and every one. God, as we go through this day, help us to make choices that are honoring to you, healing to our bodies, and strengthening to our bodies. In your precious and holy name, amen. All right. 2 girls and a 7-month pregnant mom all the way from Bangladesh. They were visiting? Or have they been living there for a while? I remember you talking about them being in Bangladesh, but I can't remember if they were just visiting or if they've been there for quite a while. They've been staying for a while. I'm headed out in a minute. I'm going to go get my hair cut. I'm really struggling with what to do. I know I'm not the only one here that ever goes through that. When you really have a haircut in mind that you want, but you're too chicken. And my hair is just it's really knotted and it's frizzy. Ow, Winnie. Hey, no. Man alive. She grabs the skin on the top of my toes. I'm telling you what. Anyway, it's just boring. It's just boring. I'm just getting bored. And I really kind of want to cut it like to here. Like, that'd be cute. Right here. Like, what do you all think? But I can't decide. I'm scared I'll regret it. Like to right here. Like above my shoulders. Like, what you think? And lots of curls. I mean, not a perm, but like curls. Because I like curly hair. What you think? Should I do it? Should I cut it? I don't know. I know it's so pretty when I curl it, but it's so much work. Ow! My gosh! You are gonna get it. Knock it off. Bite my toes. I'm gonna bite your toes. Hey, follow. You're gonna get blood on my sweater, and I am gonna lose my mind. Cute. Your breath smells like. Yeah. What else you got to say about it? Huh? Well, that's what I'm thinking. It grows back. But then what if I regret it and I have to wait 2 years for it to grow back? If it would grow back in a month, I look back at pictures of when it's styled and long and I really like it, but then I'm like, I could use something fresh and young. I'm feeling old, okay? I'm feeling a little old. 50 is sneaking up. I'm gonna be 48 this year, and suddenly I'm feeling too old for this hair. I don't know. But it's also very dull and very dry. The ends are really, I mean, look at them. They're frazzled. Look at the ends. Isn't it? Fraz. But I've got menopause hair, so I also don't want it to be like this, sleek. And I'm not a sleek girl. I'm a big, fluffy girl. That's what I'm thinking. I put on a size 8 this morning for the first time in my life ever. I don't even think I owned an 8 when I was in middle school. I put on a size 8. I'm thinking I need to chop off a couple of pounds of my hair, too. Oh, that's what I'm afraid of, Shelley. I don't know. We'll see. You'll all have to wait and see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, right, Sarah. That would be mom. Right, Mama Joyful? She says to me sometimes, I gotta go in and get my hair done for the week. I'm like, if you start wearing those little fuzzy curlers that you put the pin through to bed, I'm gonna have a problem with that. Meredith, are you trying to get me to do it because you know that I won't be told no? But I'm also hoping it might make my gray show up a little more. My like gray streak. Like, I wish my gray would like get over this streaky stuff, but I'm hoping it might like show my highlights a little more. Yes, Mama Joyful did put some purple in her hair, and that is something I would never do. So she is a little wilder than me, a little more daring. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably chicken out. I'll probably look just like this tomorrow. All right, girls. Love you. Got to get going. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all tonight. If you're a current client or a past coaching client, we have a Zoom tonight talking about why we keep stopping. Why do we keep stopping and starting? Why? The hidden reason. The hidden reason. So come and join me. Why do I want to be gray? Because I have so much of it, Lois. All of this that looks like pretty blonde highlights is gray, and I would rather it just stop being like a streak here and a streak here and a streak here and just do its thing already. So anyway, I love you girls. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.